I didn't want to come back to Texas. It wasn't fear. Not exactly. It was more like memory. Heavy, sticky, like the heat in the air that clings to your skin long after the sun sets. But I came back anyway, because this road trip was supposed to be our healing. Me, Dee, Malcolm, Leah, Andre, 5 black friends from college who'd grown tired of filters and hashtags, tired of performance. We needed something real, something raw. So we decided to retrace the lost history of black communities buried across the South, vanished towns, erased settlements, places you can't find on Google Maps. The kind of places America pretends never existed. That's how we found Juniper Hill, or rather, how it found us. I saw the name on a worn-down page of a freedman's map from 1891. No zip code, no modern records. Just a faded X in the woods near Bastrop, Texas. It called to me. We loaded the van, packed gear, cameras, food, and just enough weed to make the silence bearable. The first few hours were laughter, jokes, throwback playlists, and half-serious conversations about ghosts and curses. Classic road trip stuff. But something shifted after mile marker 43. The trees got denser, taller, like they were leaning in. The road narrowed and cracked. No signs, no exits. Just one straight, lonely path through pine and rust-colored soil. Then the GPS died. No signal, no compass. Just the road and a low hum in the air, like an engine purring somewhere far, far away. That's when we saw it. A rusted green sign hanging crooked off a splintered post. Juniper Hill, EST 1889. Population. The question mark wasn't painted. It was carved. Deep. Violent. Like someone had tried to scratch out the truth. Dee immediately hopped out with her camera. "This is it," she said, eyes glowing. "This is the story." I tried to laugh it off, but my stomach turned when I looked beyond the trees. The sun was still out, but the shadows underneath that canopy looked unnatural. Thicker. Too still. We drove in anyway. The town looked like something stuck in time. Dust-covered windows. Porches with rocking chairs that creaked in the absence of wind. A church with shattered stained glass and an iron bell tower stained black. But no people. Not one. And yet, the houses looked lived in. Fresh tire tracks in the dirt. Smoke drifting faintly from one of the chimneys. We parked outside an old general store. The front door was open just a crack. I called out, but no one answered. Inside, jars of pickles and candies still sat neatly on shelves. There was no dust, no cobwebs, just the faint scent of pine, oil, and metal. Malcolm joked, "Bet this is where Leatherface bought his snacks," and chuckled. No one else laughed. It didn't feel like a joke anymore. The longer we stayed, the stranger it got. The town felt like it was watching. Not with eyes, but with space. The way walls seemed to lean inward when you walked by, the way mirrors reflected things that weren't there a second ago. Leah said she kept seeing someone standing at the edge of the trees, just barely out of focus. But every time we turned, nothing. I told myself it was the paranoia, or the heat. Still, we decided to set up camp near the chapel ruins. There was a clearing, flat and wide enough for 2 tents and a fire pit. The chapel's steeple leaned like it had been struck by something. The wooden cross at its top had been inverted, not broken, not vandalized, just turned upside down. Deliberate. That night, the forest swallowed every sound. No crickets, no birds, just the crackling of our fire and the occasional whisper of wind that never touched the trees. Dee recorded everything. Said the silence made it more atmospheric. Andre pulled out a blunt to break the tension, and for a brief moment, the world felt warm again. Familiar. 5 friends, circled up, trading theories about ghosts, abandoned towns, and why horror movies always kill black folks first. Then, somewhere in the distance, a sound. A low mechanical hum. Rhythmic. Breathing. We froze. "Is that a chainsaw?" Andre whispered. It was faint, almost a suggestion of a chainsaw, not roaring, but purring. It moved in pulses, echoing through the woods like it was testing the air, waiting to be acknowledged. Dee, ever the bold one, laughed nervously. Bet someone's playing a prank. Maybe a reenactment or some weird redneck TikTok. But I noticed something then. Not the sound, not the shadows. The ground. It was warm, like it had exhaled. And under my feet, I felt a knock. Not from above, not from the side, from beneath. Just once. A solid, deliberate knock, like a hand slamming wood from the other side of the dirt. I didn't scream. I couldn't. My voice locked up. I looked around. No one else had felt it. But something told me. The town had just said hello. I didn't feel Malcolm leave. That's what messed me up the most. No scream. No struggle. Just gone. 1 second he was poking fun at Dee's camera angles. And the next, his seat by the fire was empty, his half-burned marshmallow dangling off a stick. We thought maybe he went to pee or do something dumb to prank us. So we waited, and waited, until sunrise. That's when we found his phone. Not in the tent, not by the van, but in the middle of the road we came in on. Face down. The camera app was still open, battery drained cold. The last photo? Something low to the ground, blurry, pale. Not quite human, but looking directly at him. It had no eyes, just slits. And it looked wet. Or burned. No one spoke. Not really. We were scared, but it wasn't just fear. It was like the town had quietly rearranged itself overnight, and we couldn't prove it. The trees seemed denser. The buildings looked more decayed. There were sounds now. Not from animals, but mechanical, distant. Clicking, whirring, like old factory gears struggling to spin. We split up to look for him. Worst decision of my life. Leah and I went toward the north end, near what looked like a barn. The air smelled like meat left in the sun. Inside, there were photos pinned to the walls. Not framed, nailed. They were black and white portraits, hundreds of them. Each one a face. All African American. Some smiling, some crying, some expressionless. They were labeled by year, scribbled in charcoal. 1931, 1955, 1972, 2010, 2023. That last one had an empty space below it. No photo, just my name. Jordan, my full name. I didn't tell the town my name. I swear the floor started breathing beneath us. Wooden boards rising and falling like lungs. We ran. Meanwhile, Dee had wandered toward what used to be a general store. When she came back, her hair was wet. Her face was pale. "There's someone in there," she said. "Who?" She didn't answer. Only later did we realize Dee wasn't wet from water. She was wet from sweat. And something else. Something slick. Something like birth fluid. That night, we found her whispering to herself, recording into her camera like she was possessed. This town doesn't haunt people. It rewrites them. You become part of its script. It doesn't kill you. It absorbs you. She was filming herself smiling, crying, then smiling again, over and over. We tried to pull the camera from her, but she hissed, literally hissed, and then vanished into the dark. Just gone. Like the town had decided, "You've said enough." Then it was just me and Leah. We packed fast, ran back toward the van. But the van was no longer where we left it. Instead, there was a school bus, rusted yellow, engine cold, covered in vines. And on its broken windshield, written in what looked like dried blood, "You're not here. Your history." I wanted to scream, wanted to claw the trees apart. But Leah just stood there dazed, whispering something. "What are you saying?" I asked. She turned to me with dead eyes. "She's watching now." "Who?" She pointed behind me. I turned, slowly, and saw her. A woman, pale, towering, mouth stitched shut, dressed in a funeral gown, holding a chainsaw not like a weapon, but like a child. The sound it made wasn't a roar. It was a lullaby. And then Leah was gone too. I didn't cry. I couldn't. I was too numb, too cracked open. The only place left to go was the town hall, A rotting building with broken windows and a locked door. But when I touched the handle, it opened like it had been waiting for me. Inside, there were no records. No people. Just walls lined with masks. Leather masks. Human ones. Every face I had seen since arriving. The gas station man. The church preacher. The little girl in the rocking chair. They were all masks, pinned to wood like trophies. Some smiled. Some wept. Some looked just like us. And then there was a reel-to-reel projector. Already spinning. I didn't press play. It was playing on its own. The film showed us. From the beginning. Pulling into town. Laughing. Joking. Then one by one dying. Disappearing. Masks replacing faces. Friends fading out of frame. Except for me. My part was still blank. That's when I heard it behind me. The heavy dragging of a blade. The slow breath of someone who wasn't tired, just patient. I didn't run. I turned. It wasn't the woman anymore. It was me. Me, older. Broken. Stitched. Holding the chainsaw like a torch. I whispered. You can't escape a story when it's about you. I screamed. Not in fear, in resistance. I grabbed Dee's camera and ran. The town began to fold in on itself. Houses imploding like lungs collapsing. The ground trembling. I don't remember how I got out. I just remember waking up near the original gas station, sun rising, alone. The guy at the pump looked at me with hollow eyes. Family in Juniper Hill? He asked again. I didn't answer. I drove. I've been driving ever since. But every now and then, I see that sign again. Juniper Hill, population. And I swear the question mark's starting to look more and more like AJ. They say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was fiction. That Leatherface was just a character. But the real horror isn't the chainsaw. It's the silence. The buried stories. The rewriting of history until it swallows the truth. And if you're watching this, if you're hearing my voice, then you've already taken the exit. The road behind you is gone, and the town is watching. Welcome to Juniper Hill.